I just got back from spending Friday and Saturday at Nelson Ledges for the SCCA Mahoning Valley Region Golden Harvest end of season event. I was driving a Spec Racer Ford for the weekend. This was my first time in these cars. It was provided by Alliance Autosport out of Ohio that provided the full arrive and drive experience. It absolutely poured down the rain on Friday. And while I've tracked my street car in the rain, this would be my first time actually out on a race car in the rain. The guys from Alliance got the car set up with reins and adjusted the suspension, and off I went to give it a try. Now, obviously, there's just pouring down the rain, standing water everywhere. I'm getting drenched, sitting here, waiting to go out, and then slow pace here in the pit lane. But once we actually got out and got going, it honestly wasn't that bad in the cockpit. Now, I hadn't been here in over a year, so first lap out, new car, track I hadn't been to in a year, raining, pouring down the rain, standing water. Thought I'd take it nice and easy out through here at least. See as we go around for this first lap, I mean, like along the edges of the track, just like pooling water, ponds of water. I mean, it was soaking wet out there. So coming in here at the last sequence of turns to the left, and then a really sharp right-hand turn. Green flags opening up the session. I thought, hey, I'll just give it some gas and go. Yeah. I struggled with that all weekend. So managed to get maybe 2.5 hours of practice time on Friday. It's just continued to pour down the rain all day. I mean, here's an example. Just wanted to show what the spray was like from the other cars on the track. A bunch of the guys here got tons of laps at this place, so I was definitely the beginner trying to come to speed with these guys. But man, when they came by, it's just spray on my visor. And just made visibility tough. Moving on to Saturday morning, first session out was qualifying. It was a little drier, so we switched to slicks, and I felt like things were going pretty better. I was keeping up with the leaders a little bit better, but eventually I just ran out of talent. I had been fighting a loose car all weekend. All stages of the corner, the rear wanted to come around on me. Now these cars are kind of rear heavy, so I thought it was just the way these cars drove. But that, combined with this bump going into this turn entry, into the kink, it just upset the car, and I just couldn't save it. So despite the spin of qualifying, I did manage to qualify 5th, only a handful of tenths out of 4th. So I was pretty happy with that and was feeling really good. And then everything changed. The sun had come out, track dried. We went to a full dry setup. And I had not driven a single lap on this track in the dry in this car. So I had no idea where braking points were. I had no idea what the line was. And I followed the back quickly. I mean, I'm like a moving chicane out there. Definitely still had a loose condition going on. Anytime I try to slide around corners, try to actually generate some slip angle, the rear just always wanted to give first. I know that's probably the way these cars are fastest, I just didn't have the talent or the experience to do it. So by the end of the intermediate race, the heat race, whatever you want to call it, the qualifying race, I fell all the way to the back of the field. Ended up finishing last. Really frustrated with the day, the way the car was handling, the way I was handling it, and I was just disgusted. But I, sort of took a time out, have some lunch, talked to the crew a little bit about how the car was handling. The Alliance guys were great. And we made a couple tweaks to try to tighten the car up a little bit, reduce the oversteer. And I went out for the feature race, the second race of the day, with a little bit different goals in mind. Not really expecting to compete or try to finish in the middle of the pack or anything. I just wanted to go out, build some confidence in the car again, and try to learn the dry line. And it took a couple laps to get up to speed, but towards the end of that race, I started actually making up a few positions, and turned some really nice laps that I was pretty happy with. They're not competitive, but they were much better. The best laps that I turned all weekend. And in fact, the last lap I turned was my best lap of the whole weekend. So that's the way to go out on a high note. I had a blast. Definitely turned the weekend around, and I'll look forward to doing it again.